What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your stimulus check update, stimulus package, and infrastructure update and daily news report for Saturday, September 18th. Now, we are starting to see lawmakers calling for an additional stimulus check. More people are actually considering this, and according to reports, this is due to inflation. Another stimulus check is still being considered. However, and I want to just make sure you understand this. Lawmakers are being extremely cautious, especially right now. Democrats cannot afford to spend more money, cause additional inflation when the American people struggle in the next 6 to 12 months, and then come to the midterm, the American people vote Democrats out of office or out of the House and Senate. That's not what they want. That's the reason they're being so cautious. According to multiple reports, more stimulus checks would most likely accelerate inflation. However, if the stimulus check included a little bit of money to account for the additional inflation, that's what they're trying to do. And I addressed this the other day where an economist just came up with the idea, or just floating this idea, that what if we give inflation checks? What if we give the American people a stimulus check that is just supposed to account for the inflation that we're seeing, to make up for that, the lost money there. Now, again, that was just an idea that was floated. But now reports are indicating that lawmakers are actually considering this, or have been considering this. So the good news here is that, yes, there is still more being considered for the American people. But here's something I want to bring to your attention as well. The biggest reason why so many lawmakers are still considering a stimulus check as an option. Inflation is one of the reasons, but the biggest reason is simply because of all the benefit programs that have ended and do not look like they're coming back. There's currently no enhanced unemployment benefits. This went away for about 26 states months ago, and it went away for the rest of the United States on September 6th, so about 12 days ago. Reports indicate that roughly 8 million Americans received $600 per week because of this benefit. Well, that has since been lost. Those 8 million Americans are not getting the $600 per week in the $300 per week unemployment boost, plus their state unemployment income. It's gone. Reports also indicate that an additional 2 million Americans lost about $300 per week from their income simply because of that boost. The boost is gone, they lose the income. So there's been a lot of people, about 10 million Americans, lost at least $300 to $600 per week. That's huge. That's huge. That's $1,200 to $2,400 a month. And let me ask you this. If you didn't get $1,200 in a given month, so let's say it's from your employer, could you still survive for 3 to 6 months? My guess is no. Because according to reports, the American people are saving less money now than ever before. The American people now are getting less money now than before. That's not good. We also know, on top of all those things, that if the federal government can't increase its debt ceiling, which right now seems very unlikely, then according to the White House just yesterday, they said that there will be a significant cut to Medicaid, school lunches, food stamps, and other federal programs. This is not great. If we see a cut to food stamps, just give you an idea, if we see a cut to food stamps, EBT, chances are the lower income households are not going to be able to afford the nutrition that they themselves and their children need. People will go hungry. It's not looking great. Now, I wish I could tell you that, what's going to happen and how are we going to see these programs implement cuts. Honestly, I don't know. And I don't know how they're going to do this. I don't know which programs are going to see the majority of the cuts. What I can tell you, though, is this will be a very bad situation, and hopefully we do not get here. But it is because of these current situations that we're in. Got the Delta variant. Cases were surging. We're actually starting to see it kind of pull back a little bit now, which is great, but we're still pretty high with cases and hospitalizations. Many hospitals have to turn away patients simply because they do not have beds. They do not have the ICU space. We have seen reports over the past few weeks where people have gone into a hospital with a gunshot wound and had to wait hours, or had to be moved to a different hospital because there was not enough space. We've seen children go into hospitals that could not be seen immediately, had to wait 6 to 8 hours just to be seen, right? These aren't great stories, but this is what we're seeing. This is the world that we live in now. But lawmakers are currently saying that these are the reasons why we need an additional stimulus check. An additional stimulus check would tide over the American people for an additional 3 to 6 months. And it's true. Additional stimulus check would help out the American people, but at the same time, is it tiding us over for the next 3 to 6 months? Or is it just giving us the ability to pay the debts that we currently owe? On, let's say, we still have back rent and rental assistance just isn't coming quick enough. Well, could we pay this? Yeah, we probably could, and make sure we get to stay in that home. But while Democrats try and negotiate a deal with Republicans over this increasing debt ceiling, Republican leader Mitch McConnell, he had this to say the other day, and I quote, "Let's be clear, with a Democratic president, a Democratic House, and a Democratic Senate, Democrats have every tool they need to raise the debt limit. Remember, they have one more budget reconciliation, which they can use in order to increase the debt." He says, "It is their sole responsibility. Republicans will not facilitate another reckless, partisan taxing and spending spree." And he's been very clear that Democrats have all the tools they need to increase the debt limit themselves. However, Democrats are very cautious here, like I said just a little bit ago. If Democrats go and increase the debt ceiling, push through a $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill, and pass that $1.2 trillion bipartisan bill, we could potentially see more inflation. If we see more inflation, it will hit the American people the hardest in the next 6 to 12. Yes, it could happen immediately. We will see inflation kind of level off, and then we could see it, ramp back up again. But if we see it ramp back up again and we see more inflation, who do you think the American people are gonna blame? It will be Democrats. So Democrats are being cautious here because they understand the timing of passing this bill and increasing the debt limit could actually impact them when it comes to their campaign and running for office again during the midterm for 2022. So that's the reason why everyone is just so slow to get anything done, is because they're trying to figure out, well, how can I make sure I continue to hold my seat in the House or the Senate? Well, nobody knows. But again, we'll have to wait and see. But this is where things get very tricky. And this is one of the reasons why the chairwoman of the Progressive Caucus, Pramila Jayapal, she has actually confirmed that the Progressive Party will vote to block the $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill during the House vote sometime before September 27th. According to House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer, he says the House will vote sometime next week. So sometime next week. We don't know when. The House of Representatives comes back on Monday, September 20th, but he says they will vote on both the debt limit increase and the bipartisan infrastructure bill. But again, the Progressive Caucus chairwoman is saying the Progressive Party, which is like 94, 95 people strong, they will vote to block the $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill unless the House and Senate, the House and Senate vote to pass the $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation bill before then. What you need to keep in mind is the Senate has already passed, or the House and Senate have already passed the budget resolution. This is just the first part, and it pretty much opens up the door to write and then create the budget reconciliation bill. They both voted on this. It passed. But neither one have voted on the budget reconciliation bill. This is the actual bill. Nobody's voted on this. It hasn't passed. They're still working on the bill. They're still trying to figure out what actually can go in it. The Senate parliamentarian is holding things up just a little bit because she's trying to determine if the immigration reform should be included in this bill or not. Will it affect the federal's budget? It may or may not. So that's where things are at right now. And again, it's looking very tricky. But what I can tell you right now, and you're probably thinking the same thing, why don't they just pass both bills? Why can't they just finalize both these bills, vote on the bills, get it done, let's get it passed, right? That would be easy. Well, here's what we know. Right now, multiple media outlets are saying that more and more lawmakers are coming forward with their own agendas. We know that Senator Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, they want a smaller spending package. Senator Bernie Sanders wants to see a bigger package, and he wants to include the expansion of Medicare. Progressives want to see immigration reform included, and now representatives are coming forward with their own smaller line item ideas. However, President Biden has not kept all of his promises. Now, this is why the Biden agenda is currently in limbo. Too many people are holding the bill hostage, and they're trying to get their own agendas through. This is exactly what Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell had to say about 8 months ago. He said, and this happened before the Georgia Senate runoff, but he said that when a party has too much power, the party itself can't agree on what to pass, and it will create a logjam within Congress. That's exactly what is happening. It's exactly what is happening. Now, and we knew this is a possibility, but now it's evident that yes, this is exactly true. But let's get into the news from today. The FDA says they mostly rejected the call to get a booster shot to all Americans simply because they say they need more evidence as to who this is going to impact, how it's going to benefit them, what the efficacy rate is, what the safety data shows. They need all that information. They say it is more important to get more people now than it is to get people a booster shot. And they want to have more data and show that, yes, this booster shot is safe for people that are 16 years of age and older. They also argue that not everyone is going to need a booster shot. Here's the reason why. And when they said not everyone's going to need a booster shot yesterday, I didn't really understand why. So I dug into this. Here's what we know. Experts now say that the Moderna is much better long-term than the Pfizer vaccine. Okay, I'm going to read that again. Experts now say that the Moderna is much better long-term than the Pfizer. Here's the reason why, and this is the data behind it. They say that the efficacy rate in the first 4 months from Pfizer is 91%. Moderna, it's 93%. They say it's so close it really doesn't make a difference in the first 4 months, in the first 120 days. However, after 120 days, and we don't know if this is gradually after or if it's just 121 days, here's the number, but here's what we know. Pfizer saw a drop in its efficacy rate. It will be 77% after 120 days. Again, I don't know if this is gradually or this is 121 days and this is 77%. I don't know. But Moderna, their efficacy rate dropped as well. Their rate dropped to 92%. So, Pfizer, they see an efficacy rate drop of 14%. And Moderna sees an efficacy rate drop of 1%. This is the reason why. And currently, they are saying that 54% of fully Americans have been given the Pfizer dose. So, experts are anticipating that in the near future, people who have received the Pfizer will most likely be given the booster shot as well, as opposed to those who have taken the Moderna, because their efficacy rate isn't dropping so significantly. So that's the reason why, according to the reports, this is the reason why some are arguing that not every single person in the United States will need a booster shot, because if you have the Moderna, you should be better off than those that taken the Pfizer one. So that's what we know right now, but as always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back and share more. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Guys, on the next one. Guys, on the next one. Guys,